back at it today. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've been out of the loop for so long. You might be able to hear it in my voice a little bit over the past week. Excuse me, see? I was very, very sick. In fact, I don't remember ever being as sick as I was the past couple of weeks. And I thought, or the past week, I thought I had the flu. And maybe it was from being puked on New Year's Eve twice. I don't know. But for those of you that didn't see the New Year's Eve post, my friends and I decided to go out for a lovely night on the town. And I was already starting to feel a little sick, but I'm like, you know what, I'll push myself, I'll go out. But I usually just, if I have a cold, I usually blast right through it, and it's like, it's no big deal. So, my friends Krista and her fiance Eric, who, by the way, I'm going to be marrying them. No, we're not going to be a throuple, but I'm going to be their officiant for their wedding. So it was the three of us and my partner Dan. We went out to dinner, and one of the only things, because I'm on this fitness plan, one of the things that I got, thank you, Susan, good morning. One of the things that I was able to get was a baked fish, like a Chilean sea bass, with Brussels sprouts and vegetables. Because I'm doing like the protein vegetable thing, working out really well. In 3 weeks, I'm down 11 pounds. Going to the gym still every day. Excuse me, I wasn't able to and I was sick. But anyway, so New Year's Eve, excuse me, we go to this restaurant called Lock 50. It's like tapas, but then they have special meals. So I ordered the Chilean sea bass, and it was a whole fish. They brought it out on a platter, and it was looking at me. I don't like food that looks at me, but it was still delicious. I ate it anyway. After that, we had bought tickets to go to this New Year's Eve party. So we go to the New Year's Eve party. And after we go to the New Year's Eve party, or we go to the venue where the New Year's Eve party is supposed to happen. We show up, and in the window, this is after we already bought tickets, we went to this venue after we already bought tickets, and there was a sign in the window that said that, sorry, we are closed down for service due to building maintenance issues. What? And we're thinking, like, what the heck is happening right now? Why is this happening? So, we looked on their Facebook page. They posted about 8 hours before that they had like a sewer backup or something like that. So now we had to find another place to go. So one of my friends was hosting a Roaring 20s New Year's Eve party. And I said to Krista and Eric and Dan, I'm like, let's go there. And it's a hookah bar. I don't do hookah, but we've been there before, and it's a really eclectic place. So we go there, and it was it's a place that's LGBTQ friendly, and so we go there, and like everyone's dressed in drag, and we're having fun. We weren't dressed in drag, but a lot of other people were, and it was a fun night. So we sit down at this booth, and the waiter is like taking our order, and there's this girl behind him, and she's like trying to blast through him, but he's not moving because he can't see her, and she has her hand over her mouth. At that point, we said to the waiter, can you move? And she chose our table and us and our drinks to like throw up all over us. I'm like, oh my God. It got in our drinks, it got on our table, it got on our shoes. It got on my ankles because my ankles were exposed because I was sitting down and my jeans were hiked up a little bit. And this girl just like puked all over us, and we're like, ah! So anyway, she then like blows past the waiter. The waiter comes over, and he's like, "Is she with you?" And we're like, "No." And he's like, "Well, I'll make you guys all new drinks." We're like, "Thanks." I know Justin, nasty AF. So he brings us over new drinks, and then as he's like bringing us over our new drinks, we see her again like this, and for a second time, she throws up all over our table again, and we're like, what the heck what's going on? Now, instead of being compassionate and apologizing, her friend that was with her, in the snottiest attitude whatsoever, comes over and she goes, "My friend's allergic to gluten, okay?" Listen, back up, okay? Back up, lady. Because, yeah, she might be allergic to gluten, then she shouldn't be drinking beer with gluten in it. Maybe have hard frickin' cider or something like that. Get her the hell out of here. We're trying to be loving and compassionate to the fact of being sensitive. Your friend just puked, but she chose us to throw up on. So back up, lady. So anyway, they ended up leaving. After they left, another guy comes... This is like hell. Another guy comes and sits next to us. And then all of a sudden, on my friend Krista, he just goes and just faints on Krista. And then like hits the floor. We're like, holy shit. First this girl just puked on us twice. And now this guy hightails it into Krista and just down on the ground, down for the count. He's dead. He's dead. Like, he is dead. He wasn't dead, just one put out there, wasn't dead. I don't think he had a heart attack, he just wasn't feeling very well. And Susan Gilliam, reckon a fireball is in order. Yes, I think I at that point I needed a shot of fireball, or several shots of fireball, which you and I are very good at doing. However, another story for another day. So this guy comes in into the scene, and now they have to take him out, and that's where we decided, okay, we should probably go home. We should probably go home at this point. Yet we didn't. We didn't go home. We didn't go home. So as the night progressed, I continued to get even more sick, and I'm like, I just feel awful. I hate being that person that goes out with people and you're sick, and I hate being that guy. So I said to my friends, I'm like, I totally understand if you want to go home and bathe in hand sanitizer right now. Totally get it. Absolutely, totally get it. Like, that's, if you want to do that, totally fine. So anyway, by the way, this is being recorded as a Facebook Live. If you're watching this anywhere else or on YouTube, thank you. There's going to be a little bit of value in this. Excuse me, I promise. So anyway, so I got thrown up on twice on New Year's Eve, got sick on New Year's Eve, had a guy maybe die next to us. I don't know, maybe die. Hopefully not there. It was a wonderful night of seeing people in drag. By the way, some of these guys in drag, oh my gosh, gorgeous, stunning, beautiful, love them. So now that we've moved on to that, I got up the next morning. Well, I didn't get up. I was dead the next morning. And it wasn't because I drank, because I had like one drink and nursed that mother for the entire night, because I'm like, I'm not feeling well, so I'm just going to sit here and like kind of pretend like I'm drinking. So I just had this awful head cold. I thought it was the flu. Thank goodness it wasn't. Now, here's the learning moment in this. Throughout me feeling sick, I had to cancel client, excuse me, see there, after client, after client, after client. Fortunately, I'm no longer contagious, which is why I'm back here in my office today, seeing 5 clients. But I had to cancel client after client after client. One of the things that kept me sane while I was sick is my clients sending me messages and texts saying, Dan, the holidays usually such a stressful time for us, but thank you so much. Because of the work that we've done together, we easily made it through the holidays, and we're doing really, really well. And that makes my heart sing. That is absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy for that. Now, a couple of clients came in who get very frustrated and agitated with family members, so we work on ways to kind of tamp down that anger. Carrie Lee, I love you. Thank you so much. And Carrie Lee, it occurs to me, I totally blew you off in a text message that you sent me, and let's connect tomorrow, because I have most of the day off tomorrow. Getting ready to go back to Vegas. Anyway, so a lot of my clients who have been coming in came in due to stress and anxiety around the holidays and like dealing with family and everything like that. So one of the things that they said to me and this was a common theme, was when we're around family members, we get into this argument. There's always like the family argument that happens. You probably know what I'm talking about because it probably happens in your house as well. And sometimes not just around the holidays. And if you're just joining, I've been sick the past like week and a half or so. So the struggle has been real. I'm back today seeing clients, back today in my office. So if you're just joining, watching me, and you haven't heard from me, well, that's why. So anyway, and yes, Amanda, 2020 can only get better from here. It can only go up, right? Being thrown up on twice and being passed out on can only go up from there, right? So anyway, so one of the things I was teaching my clients is how to stop an argument very, very quickly. And thank you so much, Stephanie. I appreciate it. So here's how to stop an argument quickly. Usually and I'm going to give you two ways. Usually when we are having an argument with someone, one of the reasons is because we're disagreeing with people. It's like a whole big disagreement, right? When you say you're wrong or you make someone feel wrong, then you just threw the ball back at them to now argue with you. So an argument is like a vicious game of catch. When you say, though, you know what, you're right, or you just yes someone to death, yes, okay, yes, they can't argue with that because they anticipate you're going to come back at them and say something that is completely degrading or completely unsupportive of them. So when you're getting into an argument with someone, one of the things to remember is to say you're right, because their other person is not expecting to hear that. So that's number one. The second thing is a little bit more fun. One of the things you can do is if people are bickering back and forth, you do what's called a pattern interrupt. You interrupt that pattern in its tracks and it stops it. And one way to do this is to start screaming, excuse me, in another language. Now, it's okay if you don't know another language. Scream in what you think another language sounds like. Like, for example, Hing Chan Ka Wa is one. Or even another accent, be like, what you talking about? I know, Susan Gilliam, if you're watching, it's probably a horrible Southern accent. Go into a different accent or speak in a different language in which you think or you are thinking of that's the interpretation of the language, okay? It's going to break that state. It's going to break that pattern. It's going to usually make people laugh. And one of my clients came back yesterday, and it was like, I did that thing. I did the thing. I was with my daughter, and we got into an argument in the grocery store. And I'm like, oh no. And she goes, yeah. She goes, so you have to imagine this. I'm with my daughter in the grocery store, and my daughter starts going, Hing Chang Ka Ko Ka, because she's like, I taught her that from what you taught me last time, and I used it. And she starts, so she said, my daughter and I are in the grocery store, and we did that pattern interrupt, which interrupts anger, which interrupts arguing and frustration. And my daughter, we were arguing in a grocery store, and she literally just out of nowhere goes, Hing Kang Chang Ko Wa. And she's like, everybody, it scared the crap out of everybody. And she's like, I think one woman like dropped a fruitcake, and like, yeah, because she probably thought you guys were fruitcakes. But anyway, so what really kept me sane while I was sick around New Year's and last week, what really kept me sane is my clients reaching out to me saying, Dan, thank you so much for helping us through the holidays and with all the anxiety that we typically have. We skated through, we got through, we made it through, and we felt really, really good throughout the holidays. So with that said, I have a client coming in 11 minutes. 11 is a good number because in the past 3 weeks since I've been going to the gym and focusing on eating, I dropped 11 pounds off this. And I feel good. I feel really good about it. I was a little discouraged when I was sick that I couldn't really go to the gym, but you know what? water, and I won this in a Yankee swap over Christmas time, so I bring this to the gym now, and 4 of these is a gallon, so I know I have to drink 4 of these a day. And the top twists off, so that way you don't have to like pull it, you know how regular water bottles, you have to pull them off with your hand. This one is protected. So it comes in with built-in protection for his pleasure. Sorry. But it really does. Built-in protection. Like, put a cap on that, right? So it wraps it. Wrap it before you know what? You know where I'm going with this. Anyway, with that said, my friends, if you're watching this any place else than Facebook, because I do upload these on YouTube, go over to my YouTube channel, Dan Candell. Type in Dan Candell. It's the one with the most followers, because I have like 2 or 3 YouTube channels. Dan Candell. Follow me on there, subscribe, hit that little bell thing when you're on there, because on YouTube, I repost a lot of these. I also post some other content too that I don't post here, and you're going to be seeing a lot more. I hired someone else yesterday. I'm not going to tell anything more than that. I hired somebody else yesterday, not another hypnotist, but I hired somebody else. And you'll be seeing a lot more coming. So with that said, my friends, as always, Dan Candell here, the Anxiety Relief Guy, creator of the Anxiety Relief Revolution and the Break Free System. If you haven't already, go listen to my podcast, the Anxiety Relief Revolution podcast. I was just on another podcast. I was on Jason Linnett's podcast, a good friend of mine. I'm a good friend of his. We're also colleagues. So we like to have these like friendly competitions. So go listen to those things, my friends. It was a pleasure. Always, as I was talking to you, Susan Gilliam. I'm going to be in Vegas next week doing another training, a stage hypnosis training with Michael DeShalit, and doing 2 shows. So thank you so much. I'm now going to go save the rest of my voice because I have 5 clients today. And I got to save this guy here. So talk to you later. Hasta la pasta.